Today we're going to look at how to grow asparagus in milk jugs using the winter sowing technique, also known as milk jug sowing. And I think this is probably my biggest reveal, my most exciting big reveal. I love them all, but for 2017, I'm pretty darn excited about this. These look great. Now, I've taken the tape off. These went in the buckets, in the jugs, March 18th. Today is what, end of May. I don't know, the 25th, something like that. So close to 2 months. Now, they've been just sitting in there hibernating until the temperatures got right, and then they burst open about 3 weeks ago. And they are looking fantastic. I haven't opened them, so we're going to see them together. I've peeked in the tops. This one has some weeds in it, but it's got a good plant in there as well. So asparagus can be grown in ground, in raised beds, in containers, and we'll talk about, after I show you the big reveal, what are the best ways and what are the ramifications of your choice, depending on how you decide to grow it. So are you ready? This is my first asparagus ever. I have never grown it, and I love eating it. I've never grown it anyway, direct sowing, purchased it, winter sowing. I've never tried it in the milk jugs. This is a brand new first experience. I had no idea how it would do. So here we go. Winter sown asparagus. Look at that. Aren't they beautiful? See if you can get a good view there. Nice little fronds. I've seen people that grow them in their house, in their dining room table, and they're like they're like this tall with one little tuft of fern on there, and these are just outstanding. There are 3, 4 plants there. Oh, and they're getting nice and thick too. See how thick that is? I've got 4 plants there. Oh, this is great. What I do is when I put them in, I say how many holes I put in there and how many seeds in each hole. And this one was for that one, actually. But most of them I did 8 or 10. So I didn't get all the holes. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the holes out of, say, 10 actually germinated. And then it looks like all the seeds grew. Look. I know I'm just not having a very exciting video here, but I'm kind of in awe of them. They're beautiful. Okay, let's look at the next one. This one has weeds in it, so don't be alarmed. Okay, that all right there is a weed. I think it's a weed. I don't think it's anything that I'd want to eat. Let's get that out of there. Hate popsicle sticks. They have terrible labels, but I was using them up. I'm going to pull this after we... Oh, I almost pulled it, and there's a fern in there. There's an asparagus fern in there. See, right there, it got tangled up in this weed. So after we go off camera, I'm going to pull this out gently and save that one asparagus right there. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my holes sprouted. Oh, look how nice they are. Since I'm new to asparagus, I don't really know what to expect or how, whether this is fantastic or... I think it's fantastic from all the videos I've seen, like I said, with people with just little shrimpy ones that they transplant. So, okay, let's look at the last one. Here we go. Whoa, that's the best one. Beautiful. So these are getting ready to just burst out with a fern. Right there, burst out with a fern. Actually, that one looks like a little teeny head. Asparagus head. Oh, so does this one. Look. Let me see if I can focus that. It's actually a teeny little head. I can't get it to focus. That's too close. There. Absolutely beautiful. So I know these are going to transplant really well. Now, the only question I have is, do I transplant them as bunches? They're all little bunches. Like there's 2 there, 4, 5 there. Well, that one's a weird one. It kind of grew into the ground and it's attached on both ends. I think I'm going to leave them as they are. I'm not going to separate them. What do you think? If you've grown asparagus, please go down in the comment section and let me know, what do you think of this? I have no reference point. I mean, isn't this spectacular? 5 weeks, or no, 7 weeks. But the growth, I think, is only like 3 or 4 weeks. The rest of the time it was in hibernation. I mean, I think they look fantastic. So I'm going to, I'm putting mine in containers. Now there's a lot of reasons why people have to go containers. And I'll tell you, it's the worst way to go. Some people rent. Some people are moving. Some people have terrible soil. And they have animals. There's all different kind of reasons why people container garden. And right now, the best choice for me is container gardening, and then I'll transplant them later in another situation. So I'm going to put them in big buckets. I know that because the roots are really, really big. The roots, when you put them in ground, putting them in ground is optimal. That's the best plan because they're perennial and they grow for 20 years and you won't ever have to plant them again. But if you do them in buckets, you're only going to get about 5 or 6 years. If you do them in raised beds, you'll probably get, I don't know, 10 years, depending on if the raised bed is in contact with the ground or if it's got a wood bottom. If it's got a wood bottom, you're not going to get as many. But if it's got contact in the ground and it's at the container and raised bed is actually, the plants are actually growing down into the ground, then it can go 20 years as well, just like going in ground. So in ground, they can go down 6 feet deep, the roots. Just one plant, this little thing right here, can go 6 feet deep and 10 feet around in circumference or diameter. So that's huge root system. They're just massive. So get them in the ground as soon as you can. If you have to do it in a raised bed, do it. If you have to do it in a container temporarily, do it. Because I'll have a good couple years. I'll have them transplanted before a couple years, but I'm going to have the good growth start by putting them in now, and by the time they're going in the ground, they're going to be ready to just take off. You don't eat them the first year. You don't really get any plants the first year. Second year, you're going to get some little spears, but they tell you not to eat them. Maybe just a couple, because you want to make that root system really strong, so you leave them in the ground. Then by the third year, you're going to have some really nice, thick, tall asparagus spears, and I'm going to keep you posted on this. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the bell to the right of that so you get notified when all my videos come out. So bell me, baby. Be on the channel. Watch these grow. We got a lot of good stuff happening this summer, and I am so glad you got to see this big reveal of asparagus, winter sown, grown in milk jugs. Go down in the comment section, let me know everything you know about asparagus growing, and whether you've grown it in ground, in raised beds, in milk jugs. Give us some tips on what are the best ways, and let me know, do you think these are freaking awesome or what? I think they are. Thanks so much for joining me. Sending you much love from my garden to yours. Bye-bye.